Hello everyone, welcome to the third session of 2 days online workshop Basics of MATLAB and its engineering application. In previous session, we study about various type of variables, operators and commands in MATLAB. Now in third session, we will learn about analysis of vectors and matrices in MATLAB. MATLAB work with the matrix laboratory, so all the operations and all the elements we are entering in the elements, all the operations we have to done with the matrix only. So MATLAB work with the rectangular numerical matrices. So what is rectangular numerical matrices? So we have to put multi-dimensional arrays as a matrix element. So first one is the scalar quantity. What is the scalar quantity? So scalar quantities are nothing but 1 by 1 matrices. When we put value to the variable, means a is equals to 10. So it represent, this 10 number is represent, by default it is a 1 by 1 matrix. So that assignment or that expression we can say it is a scalar expression. Next is the vector. Vector is a single row or single column type of matrix. So if we represent r equals to, then the square bracket represent the array, or we can say it is a matrix representation. So in the form of array we are defining r is equals to multiple values we are assigning separated by space, or we can separate it by comma. So when we separated by space or comma, then it represent a row vector or row matrix. When some matrix represent like this, like 1 semicolon. So when element is separated by semicolon, by default the second element is directed to the second row. So likewise these are the row wise element, and single column is represent in this case, so it is called as a column vector. So these vectors are nothing but the single dimensional arrays or single dimensional matrix. The next is the matrices. Matrices are the multi-dimensional arrays, so we can represent with multiple row and multiple column type of representation. So it is matrix A we are defining here. So matrix A has value 1, 2, 3 separated by space. So it is a first row. Then after putting a semicolon, the next values are going directed to the second row. So it is a 3 by 3 kind of matrix. Then next is a empty matrix. Empty matrices are represented with the empty square brackets only. Then in this session we have to cover the following topics. We will learn about how to enter and generate the vectors and matrices, then how we read the subscript of the matrices, then some arithmetic and scalar expansion we will see, then some concatenation, row deletion and column deletion, then array extraction, then some matrix and array multiplication we will see in this session. Then first one, how to enter the numeric array as a matrix. So here I represent only the theoretical part. After that we will take the demonstration of the same also. So for the sake of understanding, I represent this diagrammatic representation for entering of matrix. So this is our matrix. This matrix we have to enter in our MATLAB window. Then how we enter? So this matrix contains 2 rows and 2 column type of structure. So 2 rows. So we have to enter the element row wise, and after completion of first row we have to put the semicolon to separate out row. So here we take variable a equals to, first square bracket we are opening because we are defining the matrix. Then first row elements are 1 and 2. Then we put semicolon. After putting the semicolon, these next 2 numbers are going the second row. So our matrix representation is like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So likewise multiple operations we can done with the matrices. In demonstration part we will take the details of this entering the matrix. Then matrix representation is like this. So it is a m by n type of matrix. So multiple rows, multiple columns we are representing here. And how we read the subscript of matrix? Subscript is nothing but the position of the cell of matrix. How we read the first cell? It is a first row, first column represent first cell. second cell is the second row, first column. So likewise, matrix representation or matrix indices are followed by like this. So it is first cell, second cell, third cell, fourth cell. So likewise to the 25th cell, because it is a 5 by 5 matrix. Then how we get this four number from this given matrix? We can get this element by two ways. First way is we have to call it by row number and column number. So from matrix A and from second row and from fourth column. So first number is representing row number and second number representing column number. Or by second way we can call it by cell number. So it is a A17. So it is quite difficult to get the large dimension number of it is difficult to get the large for the large dimension matrix. So row and column wise calling of matrix is easier than cell index calling by the cell indices. Then second is the matrix expansion. So we can expand the matrix in scalar way, and some other functions we can use to expand the matrix function. The first way is the scalar expansion. How we expand the matrix? So here is our basic matrix, that is 1 2 3 4. It is 2 by 2 matrix, and we are simply adding number 5 to each and every element inside the matrix. So it is a scalar expansion. Then second one is the colon operator. Using the colon operator we can define the scope of array or scope of matrix. X is equals to 1 is to 5. So 1 is the starting number we have and 5 is the ending number we have or finish number we have. And the scope is defined by this colon. If we are not defining any scope to the variable, then it automatically takes difference 1 in between the variable. So the scope for 1 to 5 is when we enter this sequence, then it get the sequence like this in ascending order, like 1 2 3 4 5 from the start number to the end number. Next, if we define some scope, now our initial number is 2 and our final number or finish number is 0, and we are defining the scope as minus 0.5, means each number is get decremented by minus 0.5. So it is a descending kind of sequence we get, that is 2, then minus 0.5 will get 1.5, minus 0.5 will get 1, minus 0.5 will get 0.5, and minus 0.5 will get 0. So like that. And some other functions we can use to expand the matrix. Then how we delete the row or column from the given matrix? So this is our given matrix. This is the 3 by 3 kind of structure of this matrix, and we are to do the operation as A colon. So what A colon represent? Colon represent all the matrix, and from this all the matrix, in this matrix format, first separated by commas, these two numbers are defined. First is colon, so that represent row, and this 2 number represent column. So all the rows in the matrix. So A colon means all the rows in the matrix, and comma separated value is 2, that is pointing out to the second column of the matrix, equals to empty, means we have to delete this second column from the given matrix. So our modified matrix will get 1 4 0. So it is same as previous one. Then 9 2.5 1 plus 3i, that is complex number, and which is same as third column. Then second column is get deleted from this. So it is a deletion kind of operation. And if we call A2 comma 2 for the previous matrix, we have to call the element 2 comma 2, but second row is present in our matrix, but second column is absent in this case. So this matrix said indexes of indexed empty matrix assigned is not allowed, means matrix is get empty for the second column. Then how we write the next, how we read subscripting and indexing of the matrices. Now see, If we are to read this 7.2 number from the given matrix, we can call it by row number and column number. So it is row 3, column 1. And if we are to call this subscript or inner matrix from the given matrix, then we are to call the intersection of this matrix. So how we'll get intersection of this matrix? So these two, this inner matrix is common with these two rows. So that is 4 number and 5 number. So 4 to 5 we can write the scope of this inner element as 4 to 5. So from A matrix we are writing scope for row is 4 to 5. And these inner elements are common for these two columns, that is column number 2 and column number 3. So at the column space we can write the scope 2 to 3. So it will get the intersection of these 4 and 5 and 2 and 3. Okay. Now these inner elements we have to get separated from the given matrix. Then how we are to get separated? Because for this inner element we need all the rows. So colon operator we can use. So A colon means we need all the rows, but for the column we need only fifth column. So comma 5. So from this we get the inner matrix from the given matrix, and we are calling that we are separating that inner matrix with the help of subscripting as well as from indexing. Indexing are nothing but the rows and column numbers. So these are some matrix functions we will use in while performing the matrix manipulation. Now first operation is the 0. So we can create the matrix for zeros, all zeros, create the matrix for all ones. Once operation is there, once function is there. If we have to create identity matrix, then I function is there. Then some diagonal matrix we get from the given matrix. Then DIAG diag function is there. Then size of matrix we get with the function size. Then we have to flip the matrix from left to right, up to down, up and down. So like that multiple functions are there to manipulate the matrix as per the requirement, as per the data compression. Then up till now we are studying how we are entering the numbers inside the matrix. Now we are studying how we enter the string inside the matrix or array. If we are defining str equals to some text, and that text should be represent with the, or text should be right inside the single inverted comma, and that single inverted comma are called as delimiter. Delimiter to enter the string. So first string is hi there, that will be displayed after hit enter. Then second string isn't MATLAB great, so that second string is get displayed. Then how indexes are defined in this? So this total string is given in a array, and each and every character is separated by its separate index. So this matrix or this array is of 1/9 vector. So it has a single row and multiple element columns are there. Now some concatenation kind of operations we can done with this string array. So again we have two string, and if we have to combine those string, concatenation is nothing but the combination of these two string. We can combine these two string with this format or with this statement. That is in square bracket we have to write, because this is considered as an array. So first string comma space, for space we are entering single delimiters separated by space, comma string 1, means our string is displayed like this: hi there space everyone, see. And it has a single row, 19 column vector is there after concatenation. So likewise we can create the multiple combinations of those. We can use the semicolon also. For the semicolon, the text or string should be go in the second line. For colon, text should be in line, in a single line. So like that we can perform the operations on string array also. Now these are some functions of string array to compare the string. Means if we have to compare two string, either both strings are same or not, or we have to compare with some characters inside the string, and or we have to convert that number to string or string to number, then we can use this num to string or string to num function. Now let's start with the demonstration. Let's start the MATLAB window. So we have to do the operations in command window itself. First we have to do the operations analysis of vectors. So what is vector? Vector is a one-dimensional array. How we represent? If we represent R equals to, we can say okay, first we see what is scalar quantity. If we write A equals to 10 suppose, then what it represent? It represent only single number. So this is the magnitude for the variable A, and it is a scalar quantity. How we represent vector now? If we have to represent row vector, then we need multiple values inside the rectangular bracket. So it represent the array formation or array generation. So if we enter the number inside the row matrix or row vector, then how we get output? So for this row matrix we get the output sequentially in a single row with multiple columns are present. Now we have to create some column matrix, or we can write the row matrix like R1 is equals to, we can write the element separated by commas also. So likewise 2 comma 4 comma 6 comma 8 comma 10, some even number string I create as a row matrix, then hit enter, then again output is in sequential manner, single row, multiple columns are there. Now we have to represent column matrix. Now for column matrix, if we say call as a variable, and we have to create the variable as one semicolon. Why we put semicolon? Because we need second element should be entered in the second row. So second element is 2, third element is 5, next element is 6, then next 9. So likewise we create the column matrix array. Then how the if we hit enter, then execute this column matrix, and it represent multiple rows having single column. Single column is present, so it is called as a single dimensional vector. Multiple columns are present but single row is present in the row matrix, so it is called as row vector. As you understand? Clear the screen now. Now we have one row matrix and one column call variable is there, put CLC. We have row matrix. Now we have this row matrix and this column matrix. Now we have to get the size of row matrix. Then what is the function? Size of R. So it gets some value, that is 1 and 5. So what is 1 represent? 1 represent number of rows present in R. So it has single row, and what 5 represent? Number of columns present in R. So likewise we have to get the size of call matrix. So what we'll get? Now we get the size of first number represent size of row, means how many rows are present. Second element represent how many columns are present. Okay, then we clear the screen. Now next we do some operation or some referencing kind of function for the referencing of vector matrix or vectors. How we get the element which is situated at position 3, like that. So from the given matrix, or given matrix is R. Suppose we don't know, it is a small number of matrix. If we have 100 number of matrix and we don't know which number is situated at number 50, then how we'll get that? So we have to take the referencing indexes for that. So what index we should use? So we have to use the index of row and column wise. So for R, if we had to get the element at position, suppose it is a single dimensional, so we can directly get the number. So in round bracket we call that index. So R of 4, at fourth position which element is situated? So indexes are start with the value 1. So index 1 has 1 value, index 2 has 3 value, 3 has 4 value, 4 has 5 value, and 5 has 6 value. So at index 4 which number is situated? 5 number is situated. So likewise we can call the referencing of matrices. So we can call the referencing for column also. So for col we have to get the same. At index 4 which element is present? We have to get, it is single dimensional, so that we can directly call with the index number. So it is index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. So at index 4 which number is situated? 6 number is situated. Okay. Define the vector with a colon operator. If we are defining V equals to some scope, we have to define, that is suppose 1 to 10 suppose. So how many numbers will get in V? So we get 10 numbers. Scope in a space of 1 digit. So at this, if we need to calculate the size of V, then it has single row and 10 multiple values in a column. Now if we define some scope for V1, suppose if we are defining scope for 1 colon 5 colon 100, since we are defining 1 to 5 numbers separated by or spaced by 5, so it is uniformly spaced variable from 1 to 100. So after 1, 6 is there, means in difference of 5. After 6, 11 is there. So it is a uniformly distributed numbers are there. Then we have to define the size of this, means how many numbers we will get with this scope, that is V1. Inside V1 how many numbers are there, or what is the size of V1? It has a single row and 20 columns are there, means 20 values are present with this scope. So have you get all the scope operator? So have you get the scope operator? How we use colon operator for this? Now next is the scalar expansion done with the vector. Now again we have one vector R, and we are defining second vector as suppose 2 colon 12 or 1 colon 5. So these two row variables we are defining, and we are doing some scalar operation, that is addition. If we are to add equals to, we have to add R plus 5, some magnitude we have to add in row vector 5. Then what will get? Each element in row vector R is incremented by 5. So it is a simple example of scalar expansion. Scalar expansion is nothing but we have to add any number, any integer quantity, any real quantity in a given matrix or given vector. We can do the multiplication of R1 and R into, so what will have R, and what is second element is R1. So element by element multiplication we have to perform in this. So how we'll get my element by element multiplication? In previous lecture in the operator case we learned about that. So that is R dot into R1, means each element of vector R is get multiplied with R1. So you get 1 into 1, 1, 3 into 2 6, 4 into 3 12. So like that we get the multiplication. So these are some operations which are done with the vectors. Now next, how matrices get generated. Matrix is a multi-dimensional quantity. Now our second variable m, our next variable is m. In m we have to define the matrix in square bracket. So we are defining the matrix as 1 2 3 semicolon. Means our matrix has 3 columns in a first row. If we put semicolon, then it gets to the second column. Then second element columns are 4 5 space 6 semicolon. The next elements are 7 8 9. If we write 7 8 0 and hit enter, then what happen? It gets some dimensional error, because this 8 and 0 will not considered as a separate number, so it is considered as a single number. So 7 and 80 number is there. So we need 3 by 3 matrix, so dimensions are incorrect, so the output get some error. So we have to correct that. So we have to enter 7 8 9 number. Then our matrix is look like this. It has 3 rows, 3 columns. Now we have to get subscripting or indexing from this matrix. We have to get the matrix of 5 and 6 only. We have to separate the 5 and 6 from the given matrix. How we separate this 5 and 6? We have to see the intersection of this matrix. So 5 and 6 is situated at second row, and it has the intersection for the column 2 and column 3. So we have to write the intersection here. So at second row and column numbers are 2 and 3. So scope of that column is 2 to 3 we get. So our output matrix will get 5 and 6. We can easily subscript or easily separate this matrix from the given matrix. So it is called as an inner matrix of M. So likewise we have to set the matrix as 4 5 7 8. So how we'll get 4 5 7 8? So this matrix we have to separate out 4 5 7 8. Then what is the intersection for this? 4 5 7 8 is situated at row number 2 and row number 3, and at intersection for the columns are 1 and 2. So we have to write the row numbers as 2 2 3, comma column number as 1 and 2. So the output will get 4 5 7 8. Okay, clear the screen. You can get the input M. Now we have second matrix as N, and which has some number as, again 3 by 3 matrix I have created. I want to create, and 4 5 6, some 8 9 and 10 values there. Okay, so again M is 3 by 3 matrix, N is also 3 by 3 matrix. So how many variables we are created in this command? That will be all variables are saved in the workspace. Now we have to do the operation of concatenation of the matrix. How we concatenate the matrix? We concatenate the matrix as new matrix, new M is equals to, if we write M comma N, what happened? So comma represent, it is a value of row member, and colon represent, it is a value of, comma represent it is a element of column, and colon represent it is a element of row. Means, so in this is our M matrix first, 1 2 3 row, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. It is same as M matrix. 6 7 8 4 3 3 8 9 10 is same as N matrix. So M and N are represent in serial manner. If we write M comma N, so it is called as a concatenation column wise. Now our new matrix mu m1 has value as m colon n. Then what we'll get? We are adding the element by column wise. So this is our n matrix and this is our m matrix. So all the matrix is get added vertically, means row wise we are adding this matrix. So colon represent we have to add the matrix vertically, and comma represent we have to add the matrix column wise, or we can say comma represent add the matrix, concatenate the matrix column wise, and semicolon represent add the matrix row wise. Okay, again CLC. Now one more operation is remaining, that is deletion. Then from the given M matrix we have to delete the third column. Now how we delete the third column? We have to call M matrix from the whole row, means all rows we have to select. We have to select all rows first. First number represent row. Now second number represent column. So from all the matrix, all the rows, we are selecting third column, and that column should be empty. So that delete the empty column from the given M matrix. So from M matrix is get the value as 1 2 4 5 7 8, and which is same as first two columns of the previous matrix. So it is so here we perform the deletion operation for third column. Now next, operations on the matrix, that is add function or add operation, multiply, divide, element by element division, element by element multiplications are there. So if we have already we have M matrix and N matrix, but the dimensions are different, so that we have to take another matrix as suppose M1 we say, which has number 1 2 3 4 5 6 and again 1 4 7 separated by semicolon. So we create a 3 by 3 matrix. Now we have M1 matrix and N matrix. We have to perform the operations on these two matrix. First we are adding the M1 with N. So what it perform? Some addition is performed. 1 plus 6 7, 2 plus 7 9, 3 plus 8 11, like that. Now second is the multiplication of M1 into N. So multiplication of matrix is get performed here. So multiplication of M1 and N. So multiplication is done with the row is multiplied with the column. Add those all elements of rows and column and get the result in multiplication of all matrix. Now we have to see the multiplication of element by element. So if we put M1 is one input and we have to do the element wise multiplication, then put dot into N. So it is multiplication of element by element multiplication is there. So multiplication is like that: 1 into 6, 2 into 7, 3 into 8, like that. 1 into 6 6, 2 into 7 14, 8 into 3 24, like this. So it is a element by element multiplication, and which is represented by this dot into, and simple multiplication is represented by this star, and element by element is multiplication is represented by dot star. Okay. Now next, functions of matrix. Now if we are to create zeros element matrix of 3 by 3, So 3 by 3 is the dimension we have to given here. So square matrix is generated with all zeros. Next function is ones. We have to create 3 by 3 matrix for all ones. Then identity matrix we have to create, then function I is used. So I 3, suppose 4. Let's say. So 4 by 4 identity matrix is get created. Then next, now if we have M1 matrix we have, CLC M1 matrix we have, and we have to do some operation on this M1. We have to get the inverse of M1. Then INV is the command, and we have to call that matrix inside the bracket. Means INV is the function and M1 is the variable, like that. We have to do the inverse operation. So for that values result is get infinity. We will take the another one, we will say n matrix, and we have to do the operation for inverse n. So it calculates some values for this inverse n matrix. Then we'll do some more operations on n matrix. It is we have to flip this matrix from top to bottom or up to down. So flip command is there. Flip up down. UD represent up down. So what we'll get? Last row element is go to the first position. Then second position is remains second position. First position element will go to the last position. So matrix is get flipped from up to down. So likewise element will get flipped from left to right also. So left to right elements are get flipped. That is, this first row is the last row of the given matrix, and this last row is the first row of the given matrix. So matrix is get flipped clockwise, means left to right. Okay. Next, we have to get the triangular matrix, or we can say lower triangular matrix we will get by trial function. So lower matrix is get some values, and upper matrix get zeros values. So this is the lower triangular matrix. We can do the upper triangular matrix also. So upper elements we get, and for the lower elements we get zero value. Also we'll get diagonal elements also. Diagonal elements for matrix n. So what are the diagonal elements of this? 6, 3 and 10. So 6, 3 and 10 are get separated with this diagonal function. Now one small exercise we have to do. We have to verify A dot A inverse equals to inverse of A dot A, which gives identity matrix. Now we have to perform with the given matrix n. We have n matrix already. Now we have to perform n dot inverse of n. Inverse function we already have. We simply put n dot n inverse. Okay, sorry, instead of dot we use the multiplication sign. So dot operation is not performed with dot. So what we'll get? Diagonally 1 1 1 is which represent identity matrix. So n dot inverse of n is a identity matrix. Now perform in reverse way. Inverse of n into n, what we'll get? Again we'll get diagonally 1, means it is a identity matrix, means our formula is verified with the MATLAB. So multiple operations we can do with the functions of matrix, functions of vectors. Obviously you have to perform all these functions, all these operations by your end, and do more practice on this matrix session, because matrix and vectors are very important part of this MATLAB, because until and unless you don't know the operations of the matrix, you don't know the functions of matrix, you can't understand programming. Means this matrix matrix and vector operations are very useful for the further advanced sessions of this of the programming. So please do practice. Now let's move to our presentation. Okay, one part is missing. So one last topic is missing, that is enter the array as a string character. Means we have to define the array with the string hi students, and what output we get? We get the string as a output, which is stored in str variable. Then second string we create as, so string is we have to write the string in inside the delimiter of single inverted comma. So welcome to MATLAB session is our second string, suppose session. Okay, we have to do operation on this two string. Now we have to combine these two string in new string format, new str format. Now how we'll add these two string? We have to add these two string in a square bracket, because this string is considered as a array and there are multiple string we have to combine, then we have to put it in a array, so inside the square boxes. So first string is stored with the variable str. We have to combine, means separated by comma, combine with some space, and then second element we have to combine, that is string 1. And if we execute this, then what output will get? Hi students. Then second string is welcome to MATLAB session. So this string is get concatenate in a single line. Now we have to get the size of this string. Size of first string, first we check str. So what size we get? It is 1, 111. So 1 is represent single row and 11 represent number of character present in a first string, that is 1, 2, 3, space is also there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So 11 characters are present, so 11 columns it has and single row it has. Now we check with the string compare function. So we have to compare the first string str with the second string. If there is any common part in the string, then it gives the result it return the result in the form of true and false, 0 and 1. If string is compared, then it return 1. If it is not compared, then it return 0. So is there any common part in hi student and welcome to MATLAB session? No. So that it return result 0. If we create new string as string 2 and have the same value as hi student, we say, okay, and again we compare the string 2 with the string 1. So what output we get? Okay, something is missing. Okay, string, it is a str, we compare with the string 1. So string 2 is compared with the str. So what result we will get? 1, because this string 2 and string 1 string is the same, so it compare and return the result as a true. Okay, now well student, do perform, have more practice on this matrix and vector session. Now switch to our presentation. So this is our today's third session exercise, which is non-graded. So have a look, take a snap of this exercise and do it on your own. And if there is any difficulty in today's session, then drop the message in the comment box, your YouTube comment box. Thank you for watching.